This chapter is about harmonies. It's going to be a fairly short one because normally harmonies come from organic instruments, mainly the vocals in a lot of my productions. I contributed a lot of harmonies myself to Coldplay productions and backing vocals and things. And it's actually one of the things I think I enjoy the most is coming up with a harmony to a vocal. Obviously with this song here, we don't have any vocals, but I'm just going to go through my idea about harmonies and what they can achieve. I think they can be quite uplifting and they can embellish and help a melody to grow. Again, it's quite important that you don't go too overboard with harmonies. If you put too many notes on there, it can sound, I call it barbershop. It sounds a bit too twee. You need to pick your notes wisely. Generally thirds or fifths away from the root note is a good way to go. So if you're on a keyboard and you're, say, singing, the harmony could be, so together it would be, so that's the third, and the fifth would be, and that's tracking it kind of note for note. I think sometimes you don't want to do that. You could go, just pick a different inversion, a different shape. I mean, that's very basic theory about how I feel harmonies. I think it's a very intuitive thing though. I think sometimes you can just feel it. You hear the voice in your head, you hear the melody in your head, and you just go where the path takes you. When you're working with a vocalist, it's a good idea to have background knowledge on how the vocalist works, and how they hear melodies, what their range is, and what they want to say with their music as well. I think when you're producing, sometimes it's not only your baby, you know, it's obviously someone else is going to have their name on it, and it needs to represent what they want to say as well. So very much embrace their individuality and sound and what they're capable of into your vocal production. And I've worked with lots of singers who are amazing at harmonies. And in fact, I worked a long time ago with George Michael, and he actually did this amazing thing where when he was stacking vocal harmonies, he would make each one a little bit flatter than the last one, and then the one after that he would make a little bit sharper, and he would have a very clear picture of how many he wanted and have them all panned out. And it was like this, because they were chorusing with each other, it was this amazing thick chunk of vocal. And I've never really worked with anyone else who had such a intuitive feel for that. And it was something to behold. Yeah, so that's a very simplified way of working out melodies. I think, as is often the case, though, you can just go with a voice in your head. You hear the melody in your head, and you can figure out a counterpoint to that, and you find your own path with it. So obviously, harmonies, for me, generally mean vocals and melodies. So when you're working with a vocalist, you can work out harmonies together and help the song grow. It's usually an idea to kind of layer up the further you get towards the end of the song, so it keeps on growing. And with that, we conclude the section on harmonies.